live and in humongous color from west of the Rockies. It's Let's Make It Bacon with Ace. And as you can see, it's wiring time. All I can say is that I'm very happy that I planned ahead in life because the price of Romex has gone up by leaps and bounds. And I bought this maybe 4 years ago or so. So it's a perfect asset to be able to use in these expensive times. What are we doing today? Well, once the mail truck gets here, we will be transitioning over to replacing spark plugs, wires, distributor, cap, and rotor. And then getting the old rig started this evening. So that's kind of what is in the plans for later today. But what are we doing right now? Why am I showing you Romex? It's kind of stupid. Well, because so this is one of the what I would call AC ports. AC holes with old top units that are now long gone and in the landfill. Goodbye to the old AC units. What is provided here, though, is a 12 gauge wire that is that is wired to an independent breaker just for the AC units. So what I'm going to be doing is, instead of reinventing the wheel, so you got the one back there too, instead of reinventing the wheel and trying to rewire the 14 gauge outlets that are currently in the RV here, slowly pan, try to, and here, instead of trying to pull wire through and blah, 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 and just having it connected to a regular breaker, what I'm going to do is use the switches for what they were supposed to be, or not switches. Use the wiring for what they were supposed to be used for, except for they're in the wrong place. See, the wire's right there. However, sorry, I'm going to try to slow pan. I'm really bad at that. Instead, we need to wire this guy. Well, this guy is not close to the ceiling. It's close to this outlet, but this outlet isn't 12 gauge, and so yeah. So what we're going to do is going to do a wiring job. I was planning on doing cable concealment, so pretty much run it on the ceiling over, and then through, and then through, and then through to this here. However, what I'm going to do instead is right inside and right here, I'm going to drill a hole, run the Romex up and over and through, put a box up here to connect the two together, and then whole wire to here. And that is the plan at the moment. It'll make it so that, you know, the wiring is in the right place and you won't see it. I don't think I'll have as easy of a capability to do that in the back, but I might be able to come up with something. You know, wire it to, go back here, sorry, no light, I wasn't actually expecting to film. What I could do, because the AC unit sits right here, what I could do is wire it over to here, over, down, and then have it, I wouldn't have it wired to that. I'd have a box in there hanging, you know, not hanging down, but mounted in. Most likely that way, or some form or fashion of that. But yeah, so I'm going to use existing wiring, existing capabilities and see what I'm able to accomplish. Should be interesting. I do have the front AC unit. Let me slowly pan. There we go. I am going to have when it gets into the hotter point of the day, I'm going to have the front AC unit running. So, depending on when the postal carrier gets here with the rest of the stuff, will depend on how quickly I drop this project for the spark plugs and wires. But it should be interesting all the same. All good in the neighborhood, all that jazz. But yeah, that's kind of the deal for today. Plans of that. Roof is being put off. I'd like to just have a day, wake up early and, finish off the stuff for the roof. Well, at least get most of it finished off. But it's one thing to where I want all the stuff here. I want the tape here. I want to be able to just, try to wrap up the majority of that project in one day and not piecemeal it. And that's a mental thing for me. I just, because of the, having to wash it and clean it and, in between wind and all the stuff that I faced with it, I want to have a feeling of making progress in a singular day and be able to look at it and be like, I made a lot of progress. Because right now it's just annoying and very disheartening to, because it's taken for freaking ever. Because I was, building and learning as I build and that kind of thing. It's just one of those learning experiences. So that's the understanding for that. So roof video will not be coming for a few days until all this stuff gets here, and then we'll go from there. So it should be interesting that way. But until then, we are going to do some wiring, and see what we can do, and go from there. And another thing I'm doing just for kicks and giggles to actually see what the capability is. I've got the lights running. I'm going to be, they're not going to be running after I, all of them are not going to be running after I shut off the camera. However, I am going to, well, maybe they are. Yeah, no, I'm going to run them all the same ones. I only got three sets. It's 6 lights. There are 6 lights. But I'm going to have them running for a decent part of the day because I need to see the capability of that gel lead battery that weighs 1 billion pounds that's up front to see whether I would like to replace that or whether I would like to just leave it and use it. So I'm going to see the capability and what load is able to be achieved with that battery. I mean, it's a huge battery. And these lights take very, very little battery power. However, I want to I want to have that up and working and all that good jazz. So I'm going to ensure this morning that the battery is at full charge, and once I verify that, then I will be running these lights the majority of the day because that's what I would be doing on a regular day. And I really don't want to run the DC charge inverter thingus that's built in here because I know for a fact that's got to be incredibly useless as far as recharging. I know I'll do it in the future with solar, but just want to see my capability. I'm going to quit yammering and I'm going to get to work and I'll show you an update when I have it. Thanks, bye. All right, so update. I'm not going to turn around. Yeah, my back can do that. But I got the new spark plugs installed. So gapped. They were way out of gap, and that's why would I expect any different? Just the reality of it. But got them gapped, got them anti-seized, got them installed, got the cap and rotor off, got the new wires on the new cap in the right order and labeled. So when I put them back, when I plug them in and loom the wires, they'll be good to go. Right now, just about to use Mr. Brass Brush because, as you can see, the distributor where the rotor goes has encountered a little bit of some rusty action. So I'm going to get that cleaned up so it's got a good mating surface for the new rotor. The old cap and rotor. Not bad at all for all things considered, but as you can see, See a gold stripe here. Yeah. So I mean, you know, it wasn't perfect, and it was you know, missing stuff like that, but that could be due to a bunch of stuff. But yeah, as you can see, there's a bunch of rust in there. My bet is that you know, they might have changed the spark plugs and wires, you know, semi recently, just, you know, due to condition wise. However, yeah, they definitely didn't, you know, put a wire brush to anything, and that, I think, could definitely, you know, cause some issues. You know, bad contact, you got oxidation, blah blah blah. So I'm gonna get this brushed and all done skis. Then get the wires loomed, get them on there. Yeah. So I'll do that, and then once that's done, I will give it a shot, see if I can get it started up. It does have Marble Mystery Oil put into each of the cylinders, a decent amount. Unlike the generator, I was not able at all to remove the fluid that I put in there, so it's going to be burning off. Could that cause me issues? Yep. We'll see what happens. So I'll give you an update when I have it. All right, everything is started up. Everything is running pretty decently well overall. I think I'd mentioned in the previous clip, I can't remember, I apologize if I'm repeating myself, but the distributor to where the rotor goes on, it looks like you know, they had replaced it, you know, probably somewhat recently, not a ton of miles on it. But yeah, it was rusted all to hell, so that definitely was no good. But now it's up and running better. Hold on, just want to show you. Open this up. There we go. So the engine's running. Only thing we got now needs to work on. Shut off. We've got an exhaust leak. Small exhaust leak. You can't even see it on the video now. From the manifolds to the tailpipe. But now it's not actually. Oh, love it. But now it's not actually smoking, so you couldn't actually tell. So I have no idea. So I'm just ordered 2 gaskets. Maybe I don't need to order 2 gaskets. I don't know. Yeah, crazy stuff changes. Well, sorry about the last clip. I just got surprised that essentially the exhaust gaskets sealed themselves. So I canceled my order for the 2 exhaust gaskets, and that's over and done with. Yeehaw, whoop-de-doo. But the engine was running great. Good to go on that. What I'll do is, or what I have done now, is put in some Marble Mystery Oil into the intake. Did a few syringes, full big syringe, to get that up and running and going and all that stuff. And then doing a hot soak to where you put in a decent amount. It wouldn't die. I couldn't put it in fast enough, but I'm not, you know, pouring the bottle in straight. I'm using a flavor injector. That's really what it is. Usually inject it into meats to add more flavor, but I'm just adding more flavor into the intake. But yeah, you know, did that with a little hose, and I got it to where it was chugging, and then shut off the engine. It's doing a hot soak right now. I'll be started up in a few minutes to get that finished off. I'll then run it for another, I don't know, maybe 15-20 minutes, something of that nature, to burn off you know, any of the remaining, and get it back to, you know, quote unquote kind of natural state. At that point, I'm going to let everything cool down. Depending on the temperature tonight, it's about 3 p.m. right now. Depending on the temperature tonight, I might, start it back up, warm it up just a tad, just to have the, oil and sludge that'll be in there kind of, mixed together. And then do an oil change on it, new oil filter as well. Did do something stupid while I was, doing the putting in of the Marble Mystery Oil. Well, I got it on the brand new air filter. Could I have left it in there with, all that? Yeah. Would it have attracted dust? Yes. Would it have clogged it? Yes. A little bit. There wasn't a ton on there, but it's like, if you're going to do something, do it right. So I threw it away, and I'm putting on another one, and I ordered another one. I always have one spare backup on hand, so lame sauce, oh well, live, learn, all that stuff. Next, I was, a good thing though, I was cleaning up the Marble Mystery Oil that I had spirited all over the place here, and look at what I found here. So that's all little rocks and pebbles. That's something you don't want, necessarily going into the intake. So yeah, I'm going to take a vacuum that up, and then make sure that there's nothing more just chilling out over here that could be getting into that as well. Just want to run it right, make it work. So be doing that, and then depending on the temperature once again as well, I'll be doing a coolant drain and most likely flush, depending on the ease of access to a drain plug and all that jazz. It's got a new radiator on it, but that doesn't mean much. The color of the coolant is slightly a little bit browny. It's not bright neon green, and if it's not bright neon green, I ain't interested. So we'll do a flushy McFlusherson, get that flushed out, but until then I'm going to get this vacuumed up and wait another, I think it's 13-15 minutes, start it up and get it burned off so that we got that part done. Well, I didn't actually end up being able to do an oil change or a antifreeze change or anything of that nature. Just too much in the day. So the engine is done as far as everything but the oil change and the antifreeze swappage. So that was a great success for the day. But I wanted to show you. So this is the wiring. So got a box up there that I'll be putting a cover on, and then there'll be a plastic cover completely over the top of this with maybe an access hole for being able to access the wiring. So that's what you do normally to code. But I did a fish wire feed fed over here. So some of this is going to be cut off. So this is extra long and not managed at the moment. But you got the wire from the roof. That's going to get. I got some wire Romex staples. Romex, they're staples. They're two little nails. But to manage the wire and actually make it look not garbagey like it does now. And then it goes through that hole, across the bridge, through the woods. To Grandma's house we go. And so when I get the staples, I'll take off the box and pull it to where it's not having all this excess. Man, it's hot in here, 90 degrees. But I was able to, for the temporary, get the, I think it's GFCI outlet installed. And yeah, very, very happy with that. So good times. I did realize something though that I got to figure out, and that is that back here, so that one breaker is a single breaker for a reason. It's not actually intended to do both of the air conditioners at the same time. And I actually realized I'm not going to be using both at the same time. So this actually isn't an issue. I thought it was an issue earlier. But this is a switch that switches the power outlets from front to back. When you put it in the middle, that doesn't mean that both get energized. That just means that neither gets energized. So, yeah, because it's a 20 amp breaker. It's just not made for doing all this at once. But we'll see. I gotta look up some stuff, but I'm gonna be running off, off of Blue Eddies for two Blue Eddies, 2,000 watt inverters each, and one of those will be running the RV and a AC unit, and the other will be running just an AC unit. So it actually doesn't matter that I get anything wired back here, so I don't actually need to do that whatsoever. Makes it real nice and easy. I'll just cover this up and Bob's your uncle and doodly do. But yeah, let me turn back around. But yeah, so the front is almost done. It'll be just some cable management, pull the wire, cut it, and reconnect it to that outlet. And that will be good to go on that. I need to clean up in here. There's just, a million projects and a bunch of different products and a bunch of different things. So I won't be doing that probably tomorrow, though, because I got a doctor's appointment, donate some blood at the Red Cross, and all that jazz. But this week, be some cleanup. It's going to be, finishing up oil changes, antifreeze swaps. We got some brake bleeders. The bleeders for the brakes are completely rounded off. I can't get any of my wrenches to fit on them at all. Because they're chewed all to hell. So I'm replacing all of them because I need to bleed the brakes because the brakes are not working or not functioning like they should. So I'm gonna get that. Done here as soon as I get those bleeders in. I think they should be here in 2 days. We'll get that going that way. Another electrical project I realize that I need to work on. Well, I'll verify first, but then I'll work on. So this outlet here, so let me show you. Yeah. Look at all this stuff. Oh, my disorganized life. So, my primary means of cooking are going to be electric because I'm going to have, metric crap ton of solar panels, the two Blue Yetis, and all of that jazz. And propane, I'm going to have to rely on it for my water heater, but I'd like to not have to rely on it, use the sun. It's quote-unquote free. I had to buy a bunch of infrastructure to make it free, but, it's free. So, yeah, that's kind of the deal with that. But the reason I'm saying all this is because I need to swap this with a 12 and or pull from somewhere a 12 gauge wire so that I can put my Instapot here and cook. Well, maybe I'll put a board over. I'll get a big cutting board probably for maybe Costco or Sam's Club or Amazon or Walmart, and put it over here and cook here. So, yeah. So that's what's going on. That's the deal. So, but yeah, this next week's going to be busy. Getting a whole bunch of stuff in, one piece at a time, and working on the projects. My goal is to have, most of the major stuff done within the next 1 to 2 weeks, like 2 weeks max, if at all possible. By that time, I might be receiving in my solar panels. The solar panels that I bought, they have cracks in the vinyl on the back, so they're going to require not only cleaning, maybe some new connections, and then sealing up of the vinyl cracks on the back of the panels to make them usable. And then I need to research best and cheapest way to adhese them with bolts to the roof of the double wide that I have on the ranch property. So we're going to be putting a bunch on there. It's going to be so 15, 3, probably around 4,000 watts of solar on that unit or on the double wide, and go from there. So I get a lot of big projects. It's RV life, but it's RV life in a different way. I also would like to paint this place. I gotta finish cleaning the carpets, fix drawers and stuff like that, clean up obviously, get some window coverings that don't suck, make this a home. I'm making this a full-blown real deal home. So there's a lot of work that goes into that. There's definitely some monetary investment, but at the end of the day, my hope is that it will be a very comfortable place for me to live while I renovate the ranch house, and then we'll go from there. And then, after I'm done with that, well, you'll get daily, every other day or whatever, videos of me, living the RV life, quote unquote. But I will also be renovating an 1890s house, and you'll be able to join me for that as well. And it is a full renovation because, dang, yeah, place had renters for 30 plus years, and it looks like it because the place is hammered, just like this RV at the moment. So I'll fix this up, and then I'll fix that up. It'll be great. Well, I'm going to go to bed. It's way early, but I'm exhausted. I don't feel too well, so I'm going to get going to bed. Hope you enjoyed this incredibly long video. I apologize for my rambling. Eventually, with enough practice here and enough videos, I'll be able to be more concise on what I'm saying, and not just ramble for freaking ever and drive you nuts. But if you happen to be nice enough to like this video, well, let me know by thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down, comment either way, and love it if you'd subscribe. So thanks you all for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day, evening, morning, or night. Goodbye.